what am I going to do for America today? Am I going to be the one to complain, or am I going to be the one to add something beautiful to it?
We started talking, you mentioned that across your journey, you were able to complete the goal of like feeding 1 million children, right?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Even harder than when I was in war.
You are just one person, and you were able to feed 1 million kids. Now imagine if by you sharing all of this, 5, 10 more people get really inspired and go out and start doing this. How many more kids we're going to be able to help? Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the A Badass Life podcast. For those of you who are new to the channel, my name is Andrew Abad. I'm your host. This podcast is all about bringing you experts or people that are becoming experts on their field to give you tips and tricks as to how do you help you achieve your own badass life. And that has different meanings for all of you guys out there. So today is a very special episode because we randomly run into this one very interesting person who is fulfilling his life by pursuing this very novel mission, and he is just an exceptional human being. I have the pleasure of having him today. Welcome, Mr. Sergeant Pushup.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, and thank you for allowing me the opportunity to be on your podcast. I greatly appreciate it.
No, absolutely. Thank you for being here today. Thank you for taking the time. It's once I heard what you were doing, they say God works in mysterious ways, right?
Yes,
With
sir.
this, as of a few days ago,
Yes, sir.
was not planned. We didn't know each other. We happened to run into each other, and now, I feel already like I'm so invested in your mission, and I'm want to become part of your mission. And so for context, just for the audience to, get to know you a little bit better, who is Sergeant Pushup?
All right, Sergeant Pushup, real name Patrick Parker. I'm Army veteran, 2 Bronze Stars from Iraq. Just a regular old country city boy. So I'm a Baltimore. I'm from Baltimore in Alabama. Just saw someone that wanted to make a difference in the world. And I saw the problem. The problem was childhood hunger. Saw the problem. The problem was bullying. So I took massive action. I saw the problem with people complaining with one another. So I would just meet people and have fun with people. So that was the start of developing Sergeant Pushup. Just a regular guy, war veteran that loves the country, and I love people.
That's incredibly inspiring. Like when we started talking, you mentioned that across your journey you were able to complete the goal of like feeding 1 million children, right?
It's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Even harder than when I was in war. It was hard, but rewarding.
Tell us a little bit more about that, because I am 100% sure that it was probably one of the most fulfilling things you've ever done in your life.
Yes.
Just creating that kind of impact for so many people, children in particular. This is why I want my audience to know is like, I don't want them to have the misconception of, a badass life just means the money or the cars or the fame or none of that.
Totally different with me.
Correct, right? Like you are the embodiment of what I'm trying to share. Like the message that I'm trying to share to people out there is that it is like having your own badass life, how I call it. My name is Andrew Abad, so the wordplay there I like a lot. But it's just simply fulfilling your purpose and attacking it with all the resources you have, with everything you got, and impacting people's lives for the better, right? Like just leaving this world a little bit better than you found it, right? Everything else just comes with you doing the things that are going to drive you to fulfill your purpose and make other people's lives better. So that's why I was so looking forward to this, is because you're exactly that. That's exactly what you're doing. And I wanted our audience to hear a little bit more about it and, be familiarized with everything that you're doing now.
Well, again, I thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak to your audience and just giving me and gracing me with the opportunity to share with you what it was in order for us to get here. as I said, Baltimore and Alabama, so I'm a little bit country, a little bit rock and roll. I'm just a regular guy that loves the country. Um, when I found out that children, 12 million, it was 13, now it's 12, and it's rising back to 13 million children don't eat every day, I had a problem with that. When I found out how many people, when they're driving, they're cussing one another, just everybody's so angry. So Sergeant Pushup would go and meet police officers, and he would do push-ups with them, first responders, jumping jacks. I have a portable hopscotch mat, and we would hopscotch. But one day in particular, I got like a couple hundred people together, and it was just absolutely amazing. And every time I see that post on Facebook, it's just absolutely amazing to see that I got hundreds of people together, and it didn't matter what ethnicity. People were holding their babies, jumping rope and having fun and playing games, and it was so powerful. And this was in downtown Baltimore, the harbor, that general manager sent his waitresses out from one of the famous restaurants downtown, and they started turning the rope for us to play. Grown people. It didn't matter who you were. It was just so amazing. And then to walk across the street, because I was thirsty after being out there all day, and a homeless person asked me for money, and I gave him the money. A manager from Chick-fil-A happened to see it. He said, that was really cool of you to do. And we worked out a little something, and he said, I tell you what I'll do, Sergeant Pushup. For every 10 push-ups you do, I'll give you a chicken sandwich to give away. And I did 2,300 push-ups. And that's where it started. And after that, I contacted Maryland Food Bank. I said, I'm going to do 300,000 push-ups for you this summer in order to bring awareness to hunger in our city. And that was a hurting summer, but it was a lot of fun.
300,000 push-ups in one summer.
And
Is it something that you did yourself, or you had like
that
people?
Was all me. I had to develop the name. That's why I have a bad shoulder now. That's why my shoulder. I'm just starting getting back into push-ups after about 6 weeks or so. I had to ease back in because my shoulder is damaged. But whenever you're doing something like that, no, you have to do it yourself. So if there was a band playing, I would go in front of the band with their permission, and I would do 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 push-ups while the band was playing, because I had to develop, this is Sergeant Pushup.
Wow, that's impressive. Just to hear those numbers in itself, I mean, the context of it all is very deep, and it just, I want to thank you for, in behalf of all those children, in behalf of everybody's life that you impacted. But the physical aspect itself, like being able to do thousands of push-ups in a row or back to back, however you did them, like in one sitting, that's got to put, a lot of stress on your body and stuff. But at the same time, it'll just give you, that strength that you need to continue doing everything that you're doing.
And to do it, I'm going to tell you, I never take credit. I'm a believer. So I just believe God is the one that given me the strength to do that, because now that I think about it, I finished those million meals in August of 23. And when I think about some of the things I've done, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. 74 inches of snow in Buffalo doing push-ups. Someone made me do push-ups from Maryland to San Diego on Southwest Airlines. And then to get off the plane, and then Walmart donates $1,000 to the San Diego Food Bank, and I have to give them 1,000 push-ups right then and there. And then the people walking inside Walmart puts money on top of that, so I had to give them push-ups. That's not. When I think about that, that wasn't me. It was God working through me in order to be able to help the kids, and that's what I want to do, because I don't have any children. So what did I do for America? What am I going to do for America today? Am I going to be the one to complain, or am I going to be the one to add something beautiful to it? So my push-ups and the character is all about ending hunger. And now my focus is on bullying and bringing awareness to that.
So talk to us a little bit more about like the bullying side of things. And, before we go into that, like, I just want to say, I think everybody, if only not necessarily everybody, but if only more and more people had that framework, that had that mindset of what am I going to do for this country or for my community or
Right.
for my work environment, all of that. It's not about everything that we can get. It's what we can do for other people, right? And so that
Exactly.
creates, if we think like that and our coworker thinks like that or our neighbor thinks like that, then we don't have to worry about what we need for ourselves because all those other people will reciprocate and do that for us, right? So it becomes kind of like a spider web of like goodwill. And that's what I think we're missing in this day and age. It's not the same thing. I remember me growing up, there was still that, camaraderie, if you call it that, or just that goodwill of like going to your neighbor and asking for something if you need it, right? And then you will give it back later, or just having those like more deep, meaningful relationships that you had with friends, with family, with neighbors, and it almost feels like we're losing that little by little. Do you think that that's just something in the culture here in America, or do you think that's just like worldwide that is happening?
I think that's happening worldwide. Um, I hear people say keyboard warriors, and I never
Mm.
knew what that meant. People are afraid to say things face to face. Um, Even in my walk with the things I've done, he's not doing that. That's why I would do those push-ups in those extreme um, conditions, 105, 110-degree weather. And before I even started this, I had one vehicle. I had a Mustang GT, and I
Mhm.
sold that. And it wasn't a junk Mustang. It was a really nice Mustang GT. And I sold that to start this. That's what I did. And I walked for 6 months, taking public transportation. So I sold my vehicle to help the 75 million plus children out there. I started this character and I said, I'm going to make a difference with it. And 6 months later, someone gave me a vehicle and people started to help here and there. But it's still a struggle.
In what are you talking about? Those keyboard warriors, like there's always going to be people that are negative. There's
Yeah.
always going to be people that can find the negative side to almost anything. It
Yep.
doesn't matter if you were Mother Teresa or the Pope
Yep.
or anybody
Yes.
that,
Yes.
like they
Yes.
will find
Yes.
something to say.
Yes.
And what I say to that, we were just talking offset about this, right? It's like I grew up seeing my mother being extremely generous to the
Mm-hmm.
point where like I didn't understand it as a kid, and sometimes I would get annoyed or just bothered because I was like, we didn't have a lot. And so seeing her like just being extremely generous while we went through some struggles, to me in a kid's mentality, I didn't fully understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And but seeing that growing up kind of like, you know made me that way. Also, like it cultivate that aspect of like being generous and trying to give back. So I used to do, a little bit or whatever it was that I could, but I'll never showcase it. And very recently, when I started with this social media journey with my marketing agency and how to like help other businesses showcase their story and what they're doing and all of that, it really made me realize this is that we do the good not for the recognition, right?
Amen. Amen.
But we
Amen.
have to showcase it to inspire the right people. And so the reason to share it, in my opinion now, is not to just claim the fame of the recognition or the credit, but it just simply to inspire that group of people that are going to be inspired by seeing the good that can be done, right? Because like you said, you are just one person and you
Yep.
were able to feed 1 million kids. Now
Mm-hmm.
imagine if by you sharing all of this, 5, 10 more people get really inspired and go out
Mm-hmm.
and start doing this. How many more kids we're going to be able to help, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like, it's just a matter of blocking all the noise, blocking all the negative people, the keyboard warriors that are saying, no, he's doing it for the fame, oh, he's
Mm-hmm.
doing it for the credit, all of that stuff. At the end of the day, bottom line is you're still doing it.
Right.
You are helping millions, thousands, hundreds, it doesn't matter the number, but you are like dedicating your life to do this.
Yes. Yes.
And that's
Yes.
something that, again, like I said, I can't thank you enough myself, but just in behalf of all these people, like, thank you.
Well, thank you again, and I appreciate you giving me this platform in order to share what I'm doing. But that's what it takes. You have to get out and put in the work.
Hmm.
And by putting in the work, I was able to meet you. A lot of times we like to do this. Well, I can't just do that. I have to do this. I have to drive. I have to send out emails. And as I said, when I'm thinking, I sit back and think, oh my God, did I do this? The disappointments when someone says that, okay, this is what I'm going to do. And I went through hundreds of disappointments. And I'm like, this is for our country. And
Hmm.
so sometimes you get disappointed with that, but you got to keep yourself, you got to push. You can't allow the negativity to go in your mind. You have to stay away from negative people, and you just have to be driven. And I tell you, to not have children, but to help every child is a wonderful feeling. And with bullying, I don't care who it is. Some people may say, well, my children don't have that problem. But one day your child could be walking home and you want somebody else's child to help your child. So what if I was able to get to that child, be able to tell them of the goodness of helping someone else? Then guess what? Your child gets to come home tonight. And I want everyone else to do the same thing. Let's be courteous. Let's show love. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You have your comic book right
Yes,
there. It's
sir. Yes, sir. The old Sergeant Pushup comes to the rescue.
no more bullying.
No more bullying. So I actually had a problem with this. When I was a kid, I got bullied a lot. I was really quiet. Um, People would try to beat me up. And the reason I said I'm a Baltimore is because I have so many cousins in Alabama. So
Hmm.
when things got a little rough in Baltimore, nobody was going to pick on me in Alabama because I had a tribe. I mean, no, actually, an army brigade of cousins there. So I didn't have that. So some of this is what I went through. Of course, not the computers because Sergeant Pushup is old,
Hmm.
but this is putting what's happening now with the children as well. So I incorporated what I went through, what I was thinking, some of the things, and with what's going on today with children. And it's a great read. It helps parents find out what's going on in their child's mind.
How can because we were talking about how you were driving to different states, you drive everywhere to do these push-ups to meet with businesses or people that are going to donate to the food banks whenever you were doing raising money for food. Now with this, I'm assuming you go to a lot of schools and stuff like that. If business owners want, or anybody that wanted to be part of the mission and help in whatever way that they can, wanted to get a hold of you or wanted to reach you, how can they like get a hold of you and reach out to you to say like, hey, I want you to come to my business and do push-ups. I want you to come to this school, like anything like that.
You know, sometimes we can see things, but we can't see.
Hmm.
And I'm going to say this because this is on, once you say it, you can't pull it back. It's out there. Any company in America that wanted me to drive around this country and give these books out in their honor and do talks at, I don't care what restaurant, I will do talks in their honor to these kids. I don't think people understand the power of that. If you have someone and you said, this guy is doing a big circle across America, he's going to do a loop. I'll even do a loop around the country and bring it in and stop maybe somewhere in Dallas or what have you.
Hmm.
Make that center. But I'll do that in your honor. You sponsor the books and I'll do talks. Do you know the power that would be? And platforms like yours, I'm hoping that someone will hear that. You mean to tell me, now you said this right there, and that's why I say things, because it holds me to it. One company in America, all the millions of dollars, you sponsor, I'll drive around the country and I'll do talks and give these books out. Do you know the power what that would be? Do you know the change that that would make?
If you're an expert on any field or a successful entrepreneur who wants to be featured in our podcast,
I loved it.
make sure you click the link below, fill out the application, tell us a little bit about yourself. If we're a good fit, somebody from our team will reach out to you.
What's up? What's up? Hey, what's up? What's up?
And you need to get ready to start inspiring our audience and become a part of the A Badass Life podcast. I'll see you soon. It will change this country. It will change the world, if anything. Like, kids in future generations are, the people that are going to be running the world.
Exactly.
And so I think we as the current adults should do a better job at cultivating the right values, the right morals, the right principles. And bullying is definitely a huge concern, a huge problem going on, I believe, not only here, but in, all kinds of parts of the world. And I think it's something that deserves more awareness, deserves more resources, it deserves more attention in general, right? And I do believe that there are a lot of groups that are, trying to help in this subject.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I think like the way you do it, it's very special because the message that it sends to me, it resonates with me a lot. The physical aspect of it, I believe very heavily that, we have to conquer our bodies in order to be able to tame our minds, in order to be able to control our minds.
Mm-hmm.
And so I go on this, I'm a very like goal-driven person. And over the past couple of years that I've been trying to make my health a bit more of a priority. Like I've gone through these seasons, if you call it, where I give myself a goal, I achieve it, and then I end up letting off the gas and falling back in. It's so hard nowadays.
Human nature.
It's so hard nowadays, especially with most of the food that it's available to us is terrible for us.
Right.
We're poisoning ourselves like little by little, but we're so addicted to it that it's so hard to just break it off completely. And which is why I'm saying, for me, like the physical aspect of it, you doing push-ups, you staying in shape, you taking control of that, it's something that I want more people to do also. Because the more you take control of your body, the more clear your mind is going to be, and the more good things I believe you're going to be able to do, not only for yourself but for others. Right?
Exactly. And we have so much power, and we don't even tap into it. When you set that goal, sometimes people say things just whatever. No, this took a lot out of me, and by me not having a son or daughter to crown the next Sergeant Pushup. So that's like, okay, you have to stay the Sergeant Pushup until, which I'm Sergeant Pushup and Forrest Gump, because I know in one of these days I'm going to be doing push-ups and it's going to be like, I'm about to go home now because I've done millions of push-ups. But to encourage people and to see the effect that it brings on it, that's my joy. Because I've lost a lot with this, and not having a sponsor. And this is just me. Just like I said, this is just a Forrest Gump thing. I'm going to make my impact because it's just me. What did I do for America? Okay, I got my dog tags. Okay, I got 2 Bronze Stars. That was yesterday. But what did you do today before that? What are you doing today? What are you doing tomorrow? How are you going to leave your impact? And that's what I want to do.
I think if you didn't do a single thing anymore from today forward, you'll still live in a legacy that it's more than what almost anybody could say. I mean, like I said, this to me is extremely inspiring, and I really, really wish that, we'll stay in touch, we'll stay in contact, we collaborate in things, and us with my team helping you in whatever ways we can, because this is just, it's not just you, right? It's not just Sergeant Pushup is the driving force behind the mission.
Yes, sir.
But at the end of the day, it's the mission. It's like
It's bigger than me.
more people, the more people that buy into this mission, the more impact that this is going to have. The more people that support you and give you more resources, and even just, you know, record themselves doing push-ups for you. Like, well,
Yes.
we have to
Yes.
get into that, because I remember
Yes.
you telling me there is a goal
Yes.
that you have.
3,069 push-ups by June the 14th, 2025, because 3,069 kids attempt suicide every day. 400,000 children join gangs every year, and 160,000 kids skip school every day out of fear of being bullied. Those numbers are just, I'm like, wow, this, we got to do
This is
something about this.
unacceptable.
So last year, school year, myself, I did 369,000 push-ups the entire school year. So on June the 14th, I said, okay, I'm making a major announcement. I did the push-ups, these 369,000 myself for the entire school year. I need everyone else to do push-ups. I need people to help me with what? 3,069 push-ups by June the 14th. And right now we're at 375,896 push-ups. And I need help with everybody else. Push-ups and hashtag Sergeant Pushup 3069.
All right, guys, you heard him. I know that my audience is an amazing group of people. I know that a lot of you guys are business owners, are motivated in your own goals, but this is something extremely important that you guys can help with. All you have to do is set your phone aside, hit record, do some push-ups, and upload it or send it to you. You can send it to your DM in Instagram or Facebook, correct?
Yeah, sure can.
He will upload them for you, or you can post them as well. He will share them for you, and just do hashtag Sergeant Pushup, SGT Pushup. And what's the number?
3,069, because that's how many kids attempt suicide every day.
Wow. So let's get this done, guys. Let's help him out. Let's do our little, a little contribution towards this, and let's reach this goal together. We're going to be announcing a lot more things that we can do to incentivize this happening. But with a lot of you, I know that you guys wouldn't need any incentive other than just the fulfillment in itself of helping such a great mission, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, yes, I will be doing this myself. I will be posting videos and sending you, the videos and the links, because this is something that, I think everyone... So this is not just for parents, it's for everyone. Children, the future generations are just like so important in so many ways.
Yes.
That we have to do whatever we can to, guide them and educate them with, all the morals, values, principles that need to be there.
Yeah, we have so many people on the I want, me, and we don't think about anybody else. And while I want, me, what comes to that is a lot of birthdays. And sooner or later, those birthdays, those kids that you ignored because of your I want, me, they're now the rulers. And guess how they're going to rule? I want and me. And you're like, what? But you led by example. You led by example. So, like I said, it's just an honor to be on your show. Something like this is so important, and I greatly appreciate you for letting me share my campaign.
No, absolutely. Anything we can do to help, like, the honor is ours. Honestly, it's so inspiring that I'm just sitting here thinking about it and all the everything else that we could do to try to help you in your mission. Trying to come up as we speak with like creative ways that can maybe like help you, boost this to a more nationwide, worldwide views, like to get the attention for this, because I do honestly believe that it's extremely important to give this more attention, more awareness, and have more people just buy into this mission?
Well, it starts with one, and meeting that person that has the connections. And you can't meet that person without just being on the phone, just being on social media. You actually have to use some other energy besides the thumbs and your legs and walk. And that's how I met you. And so I'm really excited about what's going to come with this.
Let me ask you this: you're doing this pretty much full time now. This is what you're
Yes.
devoting your entire time
Yes.
and all your resources. How can people support that? Like, because you're gonna need resources to continue driving to other states, to continue visiting schools, to continue doing everything that you're doing. How can people support it?
So this year, when we finish with this 3,069,000, it's going to be a major crossroad with me. We're going to see how people can support now is with these books. Every time someone sponsors a book, I buy more books. And it helps me to not only purchase more books, but to live where I'm living at right now, because this is not a thing where you can get rich off of. I have to live way beneath my means in order to do what I do, and I have no problem with that. Purchasing books, thinking of ideas, having me to come out, and if you have me come out, pay for the gas, if a company, of course, if I drive across the country, that one company, I would want them to do that, because I can't do that without, help. But the marketing that would do for them right now, it's the books.
Where can they buy the books?
SergeantPushup.com.
Okay. So it's sgtpushup.com. Okay.
And just reach out to me online. It's SergeantPushup.com. Email me, Sergeant Pushup, this is what I have. It's just me. Sometimes things happen to the website. Reach out to me. This is what I need. Call me here, Sergeant Pushup. Something's going on with the website. I know you're a one-man band. These are the books I have. Call me, and then we'll make it happen.
Is your handle and Facebook the same as Instagram, Sergeant Pushup?
Sergeant Pushup.
Okay,
Sergeant
perfect.
Pushup. And I want to put this message out as well. If you see any more Sergeant Pushup, they're going to receive the letter, cease and desist, because that's my trademark. And it's a shame. That's the one thing I don't like. You're not willing to give 50,000 something free hours to help the food bank. You're not willing to sell your car. You're not willing to take public transportation. You're not willing to give of yourself, but you're willing to steal a name. And I've been really cool with that, but we're going to start sending out the letters now and letting them know that there's only one Sergeant Pushup,
You should take it as a compliment and flatter. When people are trying to imitate or copy or, put themselves in someone, it's probably because you're doing something right. But like you said, there is not any excuse as to why they can't just start their own thing, right?
Yeah. Or say, hey, Sergeant Pushup, what can I do to be one of your privates?
Correct.
Or what can I do to be Sergeant Pushup? I'm not that type of person. I'm always open to discuss. But the thing is, what are you going to do for America? That's what it all boils down to. How are you going to impact this country? And how you impact this country is meeting great people like yourself and being able to be on your show and other shows. It's because you put in the work. It's because you give of yourself. And people have to see your soul oozing out of your body. People have to see the truth coming out of your eyes. Like, wait a minute, whoa, this is true. This guy's actually doing this. And I've had people cry seeing me do push-ups in 105, 106 degrees. Because this hat, which this is all, I started to wash it. But my friends were like, nah, show it. I have a bunch of hats like this. This is salt. This is my sweat. This is my blood that's in here. And if I wash it, it would go back to the regular, but this is all salt.
Blood, sweat, and tears that's
on there. And the work.
Giving, all that effort and putting all that work.
Yes, sir. And I would be willing. One thing I would really like to do, it's a group, it's several groups. There's a group called U2. It's a band, real big band. What's her name? She is an outstanding singer. Soul, R&B, Jill Scott.
Okay.
I would love to do push-ups during their concert. Dolly Parton, to do push-ups the entire concert. And whatever their charity is, I wouldn't mind doing something for their charity as well. So just showing people that it's, what are you willing to give to help someone else? And that's what I did for the food banks across the country. You donate to them. And I know I'm saying 1 million, but they continue to reach out to those people that donate. So I'm sure it's millions that I've gotten for them. And that feels good, even though it's a lot of hard work, but it feels good to be able to help someone else. And when someone tells you, I was a child that didn't have anything to eat, thank you for what you're doing. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I can imagine, the fulfillment and how rewarding that is. It's what it's all about. It's just, doing things and being productive, not just for ourselves, but for others, and impacting other people's lives in a positive way. It's something that we should all strive for.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what we all should. And that's what I'm hoping to get people to see, that everybody has a talent. And when I do my talks to kids and to adults, everybody have a talent. But what are you doing with your talent? And I go into details about that, about people and their talents and how people become jealous of that. And so I'm available. I'm available to the country. I just need that one company to say, you know what? We're going to do this. We're going to do this, Sergeant Pushup. We're going to see. We want you to drive all over the country. We want you to drop off books, and we want you to have that conversation with children in our honor. I'm looking forward to it.
I'll tell you what, we're going to start right here in this set right after we finish this, and we're going to do some push-ups together. But the one thing, and I don't know, we're going to do as many as we can, but I'm a little bit out of shape, but we'll get some in. One thing that I like to ask all my guests before we end the podcast is do you have a favorite quote and why? You can take a few minutes to think about it, and we can talk about something else until you think of one. But it's something that it's like a bit of a tradition for me.
I can do all things through Christ Jesus who strengthens me. That's where my strength comes from. I am not going to sit here, stand, bend, and lie like that was done by me, because I'm still in awe. How did I do that? How did I drive through the pandemic? For food banks, I would just stop in cities, reach out and say, I'm going to do push-ups to try to help the food banks during that time. How did I do that? Thousands of miles and getting out and doing thousands of push-ups. Nothing but God. Yeah. Nothing but God.
You need a lot of strength to do all of that.
Yes. So that, and then James 1:27, when it talks about helping the widows and the orphans. That's what, true religion is, and that's what we should do. Help the widows, the orphans, and those others that need our help. And if you had the strength to do that, then do it.
Absolutely. Well, I just want to say thank you so much one more time for taking the time to come in here. Thank you so much for everything that you're doing. You guys heard it here. If you guys want to get a hold of Sergeant Pushup, he is HGT Pushup across social media, Facebook, Instagram, website sergeantpushup.com. If you guys want to support by either contributing financially or just doing push-ups, recording in it, put the hashtags, Sergeant Pushup and hashtag 3069.
Yes, sir.
He will share them, and, we need to do 3 million push-ups by the end of the school year to achieve this goal.
Yes. And that day is also Flag Day. So all across America, most schools All the schools should be out by June the 14th. Now, we got a couple of snowstorms and ice storms that's happening in other places right now. So that adds a couple of days, but I think they have a little grace period in there. But June the 14th is Flag Day, and that'd be amazing to have that done by then. So I need 2.6 million push-ups.
That's a lot of push-ups.
Yes, sir. That's a lot. That's a lot.
Do you have any final message for us before we wrap it up here?
Be kind. Be courteous. Appreciate people and give flowers while they're here. Our loved ones are not here permanently. Your neighbors, everyone is really, they just want love. Why do you think people feel like that during the holidays? It's that love. But we can choose to have that feeling every day. You can choose to be kind every day. You can choose to be courteous every day. So that's my message. Find your thing. Be courteous. Show love. Give to your family. Give to your creator, your family, your community, your nation. That's it.
Thank you so much, Sergeant Pushup. I appreciate you.
Thank
Guys,
you, sir.
You heard him here. This is the embodiment of what fighting for your purpose looks like, what going after the things that fulfill you, the things that help other people, like finding that conviction into whatever it is that you want to do. That's what I want you guys to know, is that that's how you achieve your own badass life, is by doing all those things. The rest just comes by itself. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. Continue crafting your own badass life.
Damn, hut.